I'm going to read the Unit 9 assessment for those of you that need it read to you. Christopher Columbus salesman. Look up Christopher Columbus in an encyclopedia. Chances are the entry will say that he was an explorer. That is not wrong. Columbus was indeed an explorer, but did you know that he was also a salesman? Columbus had an idea. His idea was that he could get to the Indies by sailing west. He believed Earth was smaller than most people thought. He thought the Indies were probably about 2,400 miles from Europe. He believed he could sail there in a few weeks. How would he pay for the voyage? That was the big question. Columbus was not a rich man. He did not have the money he would need to buy ships and hire sailors. Only a few people in his day had that kind of money. Most of them were kings and queens. Columbus knew he had to sell his idea. He had to find someone who would pay for his voyage. It might be a king, it might be a queen, it might be a rich banker. It might be a bunch of bankers who would pool their money together. In 1485, Columbus went to Portugal. He met with John II, the king of Portugal. He asked the king for 3 ships. He said he would need the ships for a year. Would that cost a lot? Yes, it would. But Columbus said, just think about all the riches if I will reach the Indies. Think of the gold. Think of the spices. King John was interested. He showed the plan to his advisors. They studied it. In the end, they told the king not to fund it. They said Columbus was wrong about the size of the earth. They thought the Indies were much farther away than Columbus said. Guess what? They were right. In 1486, Columbus tried again. He met with King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella of Spain. He explained his plan. He spoke of the wealth and riches he would bring to Spain if he reached the Indies. The king and queen were busy fighting a war against the Moors, but they were interested. They showed the plan to their advisors. The advisors studied the plan. They said it was a bad plan. They were sure it was a lot farther to the Indies than Columbus thought. In 1488, Columbus went back to Portugal. He tried to sell his idea to King John again. Once again, it was no sale. Columbus went back to his hometown, Genoa, Italy. He tried to convince some wealthy men there to fund his voyage. Again, it was no sale. Columbus went to Venice. He spoke to some rich men there. Again, no sale. Columbus sent his brother to England. He told him to try to sell the idea of King Henry VII. His brother made the pitch, but it was no sale. Some men would have given up, probably most men would have given up, but Columbus was a very determined man. He was sure his plan was a good one, and he kept on trying to sell it. Finally, in 1492, he closed the deal. By this time, the Spanish had driven the Moors out of Spain. King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella agreed to fund the voyage. Columbus, the salesman, had succeeded. That meant Columbus, the navigator, would get a chance to make the voyage he had been thinking about for more than a decade.